Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and today we are going to be doing a special yoga class focusing on our knees. And this yoga sequence comes out of a research project that I was involved in, where we looked at the use of yoga, therapeutic use of yoga for older women with knee arthritis. And we found really great results with the yoga, reducing pain and helping sleep and reducing fear of falling and all sorts of stuff. But I realized that this kind of therapeutic yoga sequence isn't just meant for people with knee arthritis. It can be for all sorts of knee issues because it helps provide better motion, better stability through the knee joints, better core strength and balance, and all sorts of things that are going to help your knees feel better. So to start out, we're going to start out on our backs. So you can come onto your back, and from here, you're going to just let your feet be on the floor, knees bent, and let your knees drop together. So you take your feet wide enough apart so that your knees can just gently rest together. And then from here, you're going to close your eyes and let your body melt down into the floor. Breathing in and out through the nose. Just feel your belly gently rise on the inhale and fall on the exhale. And just establishing a nice gentle rhythm for your breath. Letting your body release tension, release stress. And then from here, we're just gently going to reach one leg up to the sky. You can keep a little bend in your knee, and we're just going to circle the ankle around. Like you're drawing a circle in the sky with your big toe. Go ahead, take 5 circles to one direction and then switch and take it the other way. And then once you've done, take the other side, reach the foot up and circle. 5 times each way. At the same time, just stay relaxed through the neck, the shoulders, switching direction. And then from there, go ahead and hug the knees into the chest. And you're going to take your hands onto your knees. And then from here, we're just going to very gently move with the breath. As we inhale, reach the knees away, kind of stretch the legs. As you exhale, draw them back in. Moving in rhythm with your breath. And if as you're doing this, you notice that the knees feel different, that one knee is more comfortable than the other, or one knee wants to move a little less than the other, you can take this one leg at a time. Just take one leg down and work it one leg at a time. Or you can stay with both knees, just moving with the breath. Inhale as they reach away, exhale to draw back in. We're not worried about any deep stretching right now. We're just getting a little bit of motion through the knees. We're getting some circulation, some blood flowing. And then resting back down. And then from here, now go ahead and separate your feet so they're a little wider apart than your hips. And we're going to take some windshield wiper twists. As you exhale, the knees drop down to one side. Inhale back up and exhale to the other side. And again, just think about moving in a comfortable range of motion, not a deep stretch. So even if the comfortable range is just a few inches, that's fine. You want the feet wider apart than the hips so that you can really get that motion through your hip joint. You can feel that ball and socket rotation movement happening at the hips. If our hips are tight, then some of the stress of movement is going to translate down to our knees. It can be extra strain on the knees if we have tight hips. So this is a really nice one. We're just releasing some tension through the hips, getting the hip joints nice and juicy, get the blood flowing. And then coming back to center. And then from here, now go ahead and bring the feet together and let the knees come apart. If as you do this, you feel your lower back feels kind of tight or sore or uncomfortable, you can always tuck your hands under your hips and kind of sit onto your hands a little bit more, and that'll provide more support for the lower back. But either way, wherever the hands are, you're going to let your knees open wide, and just a tiny bit with your belly, feel your belly button draw towards your spine. Not so much that you fully flatten your back, but enough so that you feel like you've got some strength in the belly to kind of hold the back steady. From here, we're going to keep the back steady as we exhale and draw the knees up, and then inhale and let the knees drop back out. So we're moving again with the breath, exhaling, the knees come in, inhaling, they move out. And we've got that little bit of belly button to spine energy in the belly, drawing some strength and some support into our core. Again, the stronger the core is, the more we can kind of pull the strain off our knees when we're doing things like walking or running, stairs. Moving with the breath. Exhale together, inhale apart. And then exhale, go ahead and hug the knees back up into the chest. Let your belly soften, let your lower back relax. And then from here, moving into bridge pose. Now for bridge, we're going to bring our feet so they're about hip distance apart. So they line up with kind of those pokey bones at the front of your hips. And then from here, you're going to step your feet up so that your ankles are fairly close to right under your knees. So some of us might not be able to get the feet back quite this far, so if they're a little bit more forward, that's fine. Sometimes, again, with knee issues, one knee can bend more than the other. So take both feet to the same spot. So if one knee can bend a lot and the other can't bend very much, step the one that can move further, step it out so that it's the same as the other knee. From here, you're going to let your arms rest at your sides, and we're just going to gently roll up and down the spine. So you're going to scoop the tailbone under. Inhale, peel the spine up off the floor, lifting the hips just a comfortable height, and then exhale and gently roll back down, vertebra by vertebra. Moving at your own pace. Again, think inhale to roll up, and exhale to roll down. Like a massage for your spine. It's okay if it takes a couple breaths, if you're kind of taking a few inhales and exhales to get through the motion. That's fine, just let the movement be nice and slow. And again, it's not about lifting super high, it's about controlling the motion. As you inhale and lift up, think about reaching your knees straight forward. And then we're going to hold at the top. So you're going to inhale, roll on up to hold. From here, the arms can just rest comfortably at your sides, or if it's comfortable, you can walk the shoulders under you a little bit and press through the pinky side of the arm, or you can interlace the hands and lift up a little higher. But again, wherever your arms are at, just feel your feet kind of pressing into the floor, engaging. Feel the knees reaching away from your shoulders. Breathing here. Relax the jaw, the throat. And then gently release the arms and roll down the spine. As you reach the bottom, take a couple breaths, let the back relax. And then we'll take that through twice more. So you're going to peel the tailbone under, inhale, roll on up. You can press through the arms, you can walk the shoulders under and interlace. Staying present with the breath, reach through the knees. And then exhale, gently roll back down. At the bottom, rest for a couple breaths. This last round, as you come up, notice if your knees are starting to splay out to the sides, and think about keeping them reaching forward. Sometimes it's helpful to place a rolled up towel or a yoga block or something in between the knees. And in fact, we can show that here. So if you've got a yoga block, you can place it between the knees, and that can be a handy tool to make sure the knees aren't splaying out to the side. So once more, on an inhale, gently roll up. You can hang out there. You can walk the shoulders under. If you're holding something between the knees, don't squeeze it too tightly. Just hold it gently. Just enough energy there to keep the object steady, but not so much to squish it. And then exhale, gently roll back down. And once you come down, if you've got a block or something, you can move it aside. And again, hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side, give your back a nice little massage. And then from here, we're going to gently roll to one side to come on up to standing. So making your way up to a comfortable standing position. As you come to stand, you can go ahead and bring the feet together, bringing your hands to your heart. From here, close your eyes and sense how your feet are making contact with the earth. Notice if you have more weight on one leg than the other, if the weight is dropped back on your heels or rocked forward. And we're going to try and find equilibrium in the feet. So from here, you can open your eyes, go ahead, lift up all 10 toes. As you lift the toes, think of spreading them wide apart and then place them back down on the ground. So we're creating that nice wide base of support. You can also notice as you lift your toes, how the arches of your feet will gently lift. You want to keep a little bit of energy in the arches, even as the toes rest down. From here, if you imagine that your feet were cars, where they would have tires, think about finding equal weight through all 4 tires, or all 4 of those points of the feet. The inner and outer heels, inner and outer balls of the feet. Even the weight out. As you feel that little lift through the arches of the feet, feel also how that helps to engage the whole inner leg. Lifting through the groin, not letting the knees lock back, keeping the knees kind of straight but soft. And then from here, taking the hands to the heart. And we're going to move into chair pose. If as we move into chair, the balance feels unsteady, you can always take the feet hip distance apart, and that'll give a little more stability to chair. So either way, feet together or slightly apart. We're going to exhale and sit back. I'm going to show you this sideways because it's a little easier to see. As you sit back, what you want to avoid is overbending through the knees. So you want to keep your knees fairly balanced over your heels as you sit back. You should be able to glance down and see almost your entire foot in front of your knees. Breathing here. And then inhale, and go ahead, come back up. And we'll take this through twice more. So as you exhale, sit back through the hips, a little bend of the knees. It's not a big movement. We're not trying to get the hips kind of down at the level of the knees or anything like that. It's just a little bit of a weight shift back. You're going to feel more weight on your heels in chair, and that's okay. Feel that little bit of activity in the belly, helping to support the back to lift the weight off the knees. And then inhale back up. Breathing here. And then we'll take one more round. Exhale and sit back. From here, we're going to stay in chair. This is a really nice challenging transition to move into warrior one pose. Go ahead, take the hands to the hips. Shift all the weight over to your left foot, and you're going to slowly step your right foot back into warrior one. You can have a big stance, a short stance with the feet closer together, doesn't matter. You're going to draw left hip back, right hip forward, so the hips face straight forward. And then we'll inhale, reach up through the arms. Bending through the front knee until you can just see the big toe to the inside of the knee. That way you know the knee is in a good spot. And then from here, we're going to make it a little more dynamic. So we're going to inhale, hands to the heart, straighten through the front leg. Exhale, reach through the arms, bend through the knee. Inhaling, feel that knee as if you're kind of lifting through the kneecap. And exhale, reach. Once more, inhale. And exhale. From here, now we're going to move into warrior two pose. So from here, you're going to take your hands to your heart, and then go ahead and adjust your stance. So now the feet are going to line up, heel to arch, front heel to back arch. Bending through the front knee again so you can see the big toe, reach through the arms. Now the hips are rolling open, and feel your glute muscles engaged. So you can kind of squeeze through your glutes a little bit. From here, once again, we're going to inhale, straighten through the front leg, take the hands to the heart, and exhale to reach. Inhale, straighten, hands to the heart. Exhale, reach. Once more, inhale, and exhale. From here, go ahead and take the hands back to the hips. Step that left foot out, and you're going to turn your hips to face forward again, back to that warrior one stance. And then shift the weight to the front leg. The challenge is going to be to come right back into chair. If that's too challenging, just come back into mountain with straight legs. Otherwise, you're going to shift the weight forward, and slide the feet together and sit back to chair. And then inhale, back to mountain, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Exhale, sit back to chair. Inhale, shift the weight over to the right and step the left foot back for warrior one. From here, again, line the hips up so they're facing straight ahead. Bend through the front knee so you can see the big toe. Reach through the arms. You can think about those four corners of your feet again, engaging through all four corners, the tires. And then inhale, straighten the front leg, hands to the heart. And exhale, reach. Inhale, straighten, soften through the shoulders. Exhale to reach. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Nice. From here, you're going to take your hands to your hips and then open it up to warrior two. So you step that front foot in until the feet line up, heel to arch. Bending through the front knee until you can see the big toe and reaching through the arms. Again, feel the hips open. And from warrior two, on an inhale, you're going to straighten through the front knee, bring the hands to the heart. And then exhale, reach through the knee, reach through the arms, bending just to that point where you can see the big toe to the inside of the knee. Inhale, straighten. Engage the thigh muscles like you're lifting your kneecap up. And then exhale and reach again. Inhale, straighten. Feel your spine lengthen. Exhale, reach, soften through the shoulders. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Put the effort of the pose into the legs, soften through the upper body. From here, take the hands back to the hips, and then you're going to shift back to warrior one, so you square off the hips. And then from here, again, you're going to see if you can stay bent through this front knee, and make sure that the knee doesn't drop to the inside. Think of keeping the knee aiming towards your pinky toe as you transition back to chair. So shift the weight forward, keep the knee aiming out, and then step it back into chair. Or you can just step straight back into mountain. Inhale, rising back up into mountain pose. From here, you can come to stand with the feet together, and we'll move into tree pose. For tree pose, you're going to shift your weight all the way over to your left foot, and then your right foot is going to come up either to the inside of the ankle or the inside of the calf, or you're going to skip the knee and maybe bring the foot up to the inside of the thigh. Wherever that right foot is, you're going to feel your left leg like a tree trunk. So by a tree trunk, you want it to be nice and strong and firm. So as much as your foot is pressing into your leg is going to push back into your foot. From there, you're going to imagine like you've got roots growing out of the sole of your foot that are as big and as wide as you are. As you feel those roots growing down, you're going to find your branches of your tree, which are your arms, which are nice and light and relaxed. They can reach up, or they can just keep the hands at the heart, whatever is more comfortable. But your arms and your spine are nice and light. You've got your trunk, that strong standing leg, and you've got the roots growing down. And then from there, you're going to breathe. So allowing your body to just soften. It might help to pick one steady gazing point, one point to look at, maybe on the floor, the wall, the ceiling. As your vision steadies, it's going to help to steady the rest of your body. And then slowly step back down. And as we take the other side, you're going to root down through that right foot. Left foot's going to come up. Again, it can spend the whole time at the ankle or below the knee or above the knee. Either way, find your roots, find your trunk, find that gazing point, and then let the spine and the arms, your branches, be nice and light. Make sure you're breathing. Nothing will bring you into the present moment like balancing. If your mind starts to wander, your body will wander too, which is fine. And then you just come back into the pose. And then slowly stepping back down. And then from here, go ahead and separate the feet hip distance apart. And shoulders sideways. On an inhale, let your heart lift up. On an exhale, let your knees bend and let your body rest down. Just let the head hang nice and free.
The knees are nice and bent. You can always sway the body side to side if that feels good. And then from here, we're going to make our way all the way back onto our backs.
So you can come down however is comfortable. You might want to have a yoga strap handy, or a bed sheet works just fine too.
From here, as you come onto your back,
we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. If it's more comfortable on your back to keep the left foot flat on the floor, that's fine, or you can extend the leg. And then from here, we're going to gently stretch up through that right leg. Now you can keep a little bit of knee bend, or you can straighten the leg. You can stay with the hands just on the back of the leg, anywhere that's comfortable, or if you've got the strap handy, you can loop the strap around the ball of your foot and take hold there. And then from here, you're going to either take the strap into your right hand, or you can just take hold behind the leg with your right hand. Left hand is going to come down onto your left thigh. Make sure your left thigh doesn't move as you slowly turn your toes out to the right and take the leg as far out as you can comfortably go without letting your whole body roll. So as soon as that left hip starts rolling, you've gone too far. So you're going to plant the left hip down as you take the right leg out. Look at this nice deep stretch through the groin and through the inner hamstrings. Breathing into the stretch. Inhale, bring the leg back up, and switching hands, take the left hand now either to the strap or to the outside of the leg, and just bring your foot just a couple inches over to the left. You can turn your foot slightly to the left too. Turning it, what would that be? Counterclockwise, I think. And again, if your hip starts coming off the ground, you've gone too far. Now feeling the stretch a little more into the outer thigh, into the outer hamstring. And then coming back up to center. And then you can hug the knee into the chest and draw the other leg either up to the strap or hug it in. And then as you're ready, as you straighten through the left leg, again, you can take hold behind the leg, or you can use the strap. The right leg can be long, or you can bend the knee, and that'll give your back a little more support. And from here, again, just feel that nice deep stretch all the way up through the back of the leg. Make sure the shoulders and the neck are nice and relaxed. And take the strap or the leg into the left hand, right hand to your hip. Turn the toes to the left as you take the leg out, any amount. I run into my couch, but hopefully you've got a little more room in your house. Again, feel the stretch a little more in through the groin, through the inner hamstrings. You can keep some energy in that right foot, kind of reaching. And then bringing the leg back up, switching hands, right hand to the leg or to the strap. The toes turn clockwise a little bit to the right, and the leg just moves an inch or two to the right. Again, if the hip's off the ground, you've gone too far. And then from there, back up through center. You might notice this next time as you come back through center that you've got a little more flexibility. And then from there, you can gently release the strap, release the leg. Take both feet on the floor, and you're going to scoot your hips over to the right. So you just lift them up and scoot them over, and then let your knees roll to the left for a twist. You can keep the knees apart, or you can stack the top knee over the bottom. And then you can turn your head left, right, or anywhere in between, whatever feels good. Make sure in this twist that both shoulders stay on the ground. And if the lower back feels any strain, like it's too deep, lift your knees a little higher. The knees don't have to be anywhere near the ground. Let your body melt into the twist. And then inhale to come back up. You can bring the hips back through center and then scoot them to the left. And then from there, let the knees roll to the right. And again, they can be apart or stacked. Gazing right, left, or anywhere in between. Let your body melt and relax into the twist. Feel free to close your eyes. And coming back through center, bring the hips back to the middle. And then we're ready for Shavasana, for a final relaxation pose. You can just do it right here on the ground with nothing under you. That's perfect, just closing your eyes. But since this is for the knees, if your knees feel like they need a little support, you can use a rolled up blanket, or I like to grab just a cushion off my couch because I've got these really nice kind of couch cushions that work as perfect knee support. And so you just give a little support under the knees. And then from there, let your arms relax down at your sides, palms of the hands facing upward. Close your eyes and let your body melt. Breathing in and out through the nose. Feel your knees soften. We can often get caught into this way of thinking where we say we have bad knees or we have a bad knee. And I like to think of the knees as not bad. They are not bad knees. They're good knees. They're just vulnerable. So if you have a vulnerable knee or vulnerable knees, you can take this time now to allow the knees to soften, to let them melt into the support that your body is giving them. And you can send them a little love and a little gratitude. Because even if your knees are vulnerable, even if they're achy, I'm sure they still do a lot of work for you every time you're walking, you're moving. The knees are working hard, so we're going to send them a little bit of love. We're going to send them a little bit of gratitude. And feel free to stay here. You can pause the video, stay as long as you want. But when you are ready to come out, you can slowly wiggle fingers and toes. Take little circles for the ankles, the wrists. And letting that evolve into any kind of gentle stretching that feels good. And then as you're ready, hug the knees to the chest. Give them one last little hug of love. Gently rolling to one side. You can rest there for several breaths. And as you're ready, coming all the way back up to sit into a comfortable seated position. Thank you so much for engaging in my Yoga for Happy Knees video. I hope your knees are feeling happy. I hope you're feeling good, and have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, and namaste. Thanks so much.